Hello and welcome, everyone. Today's guest is Casey DuPont, and she is an incredible model. For those of you that follow her, you know that she's done various shows in the Buffalo area, New York Fashion Week. You've likely seen her in magazines as well. So really excited to have her here today. So Casey, thank you so much for being with us and being willing to share your story with us.
Hi, everyone. Of course, I'm very excited to be involved and very happy to share some of my history on my modeling experiences.
Awesome. So I love to share how I meet everyone that will be involved in the show, how we've connected. Casey and I have a mutual friend known by Novi Peluche. So for those of you who don't know her, she's a local designer and she owns a boutique on Allen Street called Sasmita Batik Indonesia. And she has beautiful items, clothing, decor, a whole slew of things you can find in her shop, all from Indonesia, beautiful, unique pieces. So if you've never been to her shop, definitely go check her out. But that's how Casey and I connected a couple of years ago, saw you walking in one of Novi's shows, and, have just always noticed how talented you are and passionate you are about the work that you do. So
Thank you.
getting into it, well, we would love to hear about your journey into modeling. How did it get started? Have you always wanted to be in this industry? When did you get started in the industry? And just a quick note here, Casey is actually going to be modeling in International Child Advancement's Nourish a Child's Dream Art Gala coming up on September 23rd. So wanted to insert that real quick so people understand the connectivity here and the reason for the spotlight. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind sharing your journey with us, that would be amazing.
Yeah. So I have interest in a combination of things that led me to modeling. I've always been into fashion. I've always been into the art of photography. Believe it or not, it actually started with like landscape photography. That's actually why I picked up a camera in the first place. But I was always interested in modeling and performing as well. I grew up doing gymnastics, dance. I was in all the talent shows at school, anything that got me in a spotlight to show off my creativity. So modeling came along for fun at first. I was actually at my senior photo shoot, and the photographer was just noticing some things about me that naturally a lot of other people don't have in front of the camera. And he began to compliment me and try some things. And I kind of recognized what was going on. And he asked me if I'd ever modeled before. And I told him, for fun, but nothing official. And it led into playing around a little bit with my senior photo shoot becoming a modeling photo shoot. And we did some non-traditional photos that I ended up keeping to start my modeling portfolio. That was, of course, the summer before my senior year. And once I got into college 2 years later, I had a roommate who actually did some modeling with a photographer for the photographer's portfolio. I believe that they went to RIT in Rochester. And so I met some photographers through my roommate in college. I was actually going to college for criminal justice at the time, so no connection whatsoever with that. And she was not doing anything related to modeling either. So it was just a right place, right time type of thing. After I started to work with some photographers on their portfolio, and of course mine at that time as well, I started an Instagram in 2017. So after about a year and a half of working with photographers as TFP, which is trade for portfolio or time for portfolio. And after I started Instagram, I started following local models, following local photographers, boutiques, designers, anything that was related to fashion or the type of modeling that I wanted to get into, which there was various genres. So I was following a whole bunch of people. And I decided to put myself out there as available for photo shoots. A couple models that I was following, I saw would put posts in their stories or little captions and stuff. And I thought, why not try it? Anyone who's looking to TFP might be interested. So that's what I started doing. And I actually started getting people who are interested, which I didn't expect. So I was very expressed that it was working. After doing that for about a year, I believe that I Worked with one photographer who traveled in from out of state, and he was a little bit more helpful with professional posing and had a little bit more editorial knowledge. So that gave me more background and gave me more of a ground to move forward with the editorial part of my modeling. That is my favorite part of modeling. That is, for people who don't know, it's mostly related to fashion, high fashion, and more of like art couture stuff. You would see it in a magazine rather than a catalog, and it's more in depth and in detail with what goes into the shoot. They tell a story more than just showing off a photo of clothing. So once I started to get more insight on editorial modeling, I began to advertise myself a little bit more in that light, and it led me down a path of being able to build a portfolio. And I got to a point where people were actually messaging me and asking me to work with them. And I was like, oh my God, this is real. This is happening. People are actually seeing me as a model. And to have that happen really puts you in a perspective of, okay, so this isn't just me asking to work with a bunch of photographers. I'm actually doing it. I'm becoming successful. And that was kind of my cue to realize that I did have a place to go in this industry and that I could do it without an agency. And that is what was most important to me, because I'm not 5'10", so I don't fit most agencies' requirements. A lot of them have changed now, but as far as editorial fashion, being tall and a certain body type is typically what you find, and I don't fit within that body type. I'm 5'4", and I am way shorter than most people think, and I get a lot of compliments that I've learned to pose to look tall. So it is possible that you can do it without actually being that tall. And my journey of building my portfolio is actually what gave me the knowledge and confidence, to be able to believe in myself and push forward. Because I had people who were testing my limits, trying new things with me, and putting me in a position to grow.
I love that. Man, the fact that you were in school for criminal justice and this opportunity came about, something you've been interested in, and you pursued it and you really went after it. You learned, you engaged, you networked, and you did what you had to do to learn. And I just love that part of your story, and the fact that you did not meet certain expectations or requirements too. That's huge, because a lot of times so many people might get discouraged because they may look at a job posting and say, man, I don't meet all the requirements. And as women, we tend to do that a lot. I don't hit all the job requirements, so you know what? It's not a good fit. It's not going to work. They'll never say yes, right?
Right.
But I love and I appreciate that you did not let that deter you. You're like, you know what? Let me just give it a try. Let me give it a shot. And it paid off. I know others will definitely find so much value in that, and hopefully inspiration, because there's probably someone out there right now afraid to try something, right? Because maybe they don't check off all the boxes, and you do not need to check off all the boxes. Give it a try. It's okay to take a risk, right?
Exactly. Yep. There was a lot of no's on my journey, but many more yeses than no's, and that's what's important.
That's so beautiful. So along that journey, understanding that obviously you came across a lot of pushback, like you said, you got a lot of no. Was there ever a moment in time where you felt close to giving up, almost discouraged, wanting maybe to walk away for whatever reason? Either you were having a hard time getting jobs or booking shows, whatever it might be. Did that ever happen? And if so, what did you do to overcome that and really push back on those negative feelings?
So it's happened to me twice since I started my career officially in 2017. That is the date I put on it. Early on, around the end of 2018 to 2019, so about a year or a year and a half into my modeling, just before I really found more of my direction of where I more wanted to go passionately, I did get a lot of no's for photo shoots. And a lot of people that I was reaching out to for those TFP opportunities were people's work that I admired or models that I admired that had worked with them. A lot of no's were just for the simple fact that they were a photographer who are too far in their career. They don't accept trade, and I wasn't in a position that could afford to work with them. So respectfully, no, and respectfully from me, no problem. However, there were no's before that weren't as nice or respectful. Specifically, a few times, in more words or in less words than what they said, basically that I don't have a curvy enough body, or I am not the type of model that they like to shoot with. Those were some of the responses that I got sometimes. And that was discouraging because, one, I was already having some issues with my height because the height requirement is often 5'10". And I'm 6 inches shorter than that. That is a huge gap to fill, even with high heels. I definitely cannot walk in 6-inch high heels. I don't know anyone who can, especially not, down an entire runway and do it successfully. So I was already discouraged a little bit with the height. And then I overcame that with the posing. And that came through, working with the right photographers, learning how to pose to look taller. That's still something that I am working on to this day to add more poses to that technique. I don't have it 100% mastered, but it is something that has been a key from the start. Now, as far as being told I'm not curvy enough or not the type of model that they like to work with, that hurt my feelings. And it was something that I had to learn not to take personal. Because there are different types of models, there are different types of photographers, and there are various lanes of genres and various ways to manipulate genres. So I had to learn to take those types of things with a grain of salt by reminding myself that it's okay that I did not fit everyone's mold. Because the art of modeling goes all the way back to my roots, the reason I got involved. I'm a creative soul. I like to create, I like to test limits and try new things, and I like to provide joy or some type of emotion in my viewer. That is the point of art. So I had to remind myself that not all arts have one mold. That applies to models as well. There is not one certain type of model, and there is not one certain type of model that everyone likes or dislikes. So the encouragement from other models that would encourage me to overcome these height restrictions or body type restrictions were part of how I overcome those, but also just reminding myself my purpose in this form of art. It is to create and do things that are different and are within my art style, and understanding that other people may not match my vision was something that was hard to overcome at first and realize. But now that I do, I don't have any problem with someone telling me no. I'm not saying that everyone is always respectful, but I never take it personally anymore. And the second time that I had a hardship like this in my career was actually this past summer, 2023. I began to notice a lot less bookings in, I want to say, the early spring. I was getting some here and there, but my work was getting a lot less consistent, and I wasn't sure if it was me. I wasn't sure if it was my new job, because I did start a new job a year ago. However, my new job gives me more availability. So I was kind of stumped. I was wondering why am I not getting bookings? And over time, I started to get really discouraged, telling some of my closer friends who are also in this industry, like, guys, I really don't think that I'm going to try anymore, because I have put my availability out week after week and I'm not getting anyone booking me. I've done a promo and I'm not getting anyone booking me. And I just kind of felt like I was defeated. I wasn't feeling like anyone had any interest in working with me anymore. And this industry is so big that I started having these toxic thoughts of, what if my time is up? What if, because I cut my hair short a year ago, people aren't interested in my style anymore? And I started to second guess really, really detailed stuff about myself. And then I started to see other people, including photographers, expressing this same type of feeling.
Hmm.
And I noticed that I wasn't the only one who wasn't doing a lot of work this past year. And then
Mhm.
I started to talk to some people after seeing posts about feeling that way. And this time, honestly, I realized it's not me and it's not anyone else. It's honestly this time around, it's our situation of economy and scheduling, and things are just not lining up for people. And a lot of people have been out of the game this year. So I kind of had a little mental refresh there and talked to some people who feel
Yeah.
the same way and got out of that funk. And since then, I've had a good 2 months of getting back into it, and I'm on the up and up. So I learned that in
Awesome.
the industry, it's not consistent as far as bookings as well.
Yeah, and there is definitely something to get from that, especially your last example. We can be our own worst enemies. Really, we can really be our own worst enemies. We could be doing amazing, doing great, getting positive feedback from others, but we'll still nitpick and try to find but. No, there's no but. You're great. You're great. And oftentimes I find that it does help to reach out to folks in your industry, just like you did, and have that conversation and take the opportunity to be vulnerable because, like you found out, you just never know what someone else might be going through. And for entrepreneurs out there, non-entrepreneurs, I mean, we all go through those phases in life, right? Where that
Yeah.
self-doubt will creep in and you'll want to give up, or you want to give up on a new project, or you want to give up on a new opportunity, but pushing through that pain. It's definitely not easy, but it's worth it in the end. Now, granted, there are instances and times where you might be in a situation where you might have to walk away, but if that's not the case, doing what you did, reaching out to people you trust to discuss what you're going through definitely helps kind of calm those nerves because
Yeah.
they can
And
be challenging.
it shows you that the community is still there and does support you and has the same obstacles to overcome.
Yeah, yeah. So pivoting a little bit now, as you know, the theme of our art gala is Nourish a Child's Dream. Our goal is to help underserved children and orphans advance to a future of self-sufficiency and really help them advance towards accomplishing their dreams. For kids in Buffalo, New York, what we hope to do through this event is raising a fund so we can give away 2 scholarships to underserved kids, make a donation to Buffalo Public School 84, and in the Democratic Republic of Congo, we want to purchase bunk beds, tables, and chairs for orphans, and pay for K through 12 education because education is fee-based in the DRC. The government is working towards changing that, but we have a ways to go, and we're trying to help meet that gap because education is a basic human right. And no matter where a child is, they deserve to go to school. So that's how we hope to nourish these children's dreams. So, with that in mind, surely someone that will watch this might have an interest in the modeling industry. What advice can you give that person that's looking to get started and get their foot in the door?
Absolutely. So I did not come from what people call a privileged home. I grew up in a situation where money was not easily feasible. There were a lot of things that I went without, school trips that I did not go on because I couldn't make the fundraising or my family simply couldn't afford it. Once I came to college, grants, scholarships, and a little bit of my own fundraising and, gift money was what got me through that. And onto the modeling, of course, where I did kind of find my way in during college. It was the same. A lot of people go to a modeling agency and they go to modeling camps and they get trained and they work with professional photographers from the start who have these state of the art studios with high tech lighting, and it's just easier because they have those opportunities. They're able to pay to travel across the country to go to one of the better camps, or they're able to pay to work with a really great photographer in your city who knows what they're doing, not only behind the camera, but with helping you pose at that level that you need to beyond headshots and portraits with your family. Those things cost a lot of money. And when I tell you a lot of money, I'm talking about like the same tuition as a college. It is not something that
What?
is easy to save up for.
Oh, wow.
Thousands of dollars to be a part of these types of programs.
Wow.
Camps are a lot shorter and there's a lot more options. So those are more affordable, something that you can reasonably save up for. However, other agencies and stuff, there's also a fee to get into those. And a lot of people don't realize that, they know an agency is going to take part of your profit, but they don't know how much money they have to pay to actually get into an agency and pay for their media package to advertise themselves and pay for the training classes that they want them to take, even if you've already paid to take other training classes. So finances is a huge step back. And I want to tell anyone, youth or not youth, who's interested in getting involved with modeling or anything else that requires those types of step backs, it's still possible, especially with the internet at our hands, to be honest. Social media is one of the biggest free teachers in the world. There is a lot of stuff out there that you don't want to see, but if you look for the right stuff, you follow the right accounts on, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it might be, you can find those people who inspire you. And this is what I did. One of my favorite models to follow is Coca Rocha. I don't know very many models who love editorial and fashion that don't know of her. She has walked in every major fashion week there is in this world. And she is one of the most inspiring models that I've seen out there because she does target those who might not feel like they fit within the mold, or that they're too afraid to come outside of the box and really do what they have inside them that will set them apart. So following inspiring people where they are free to access, because it's possible, watching what they do, and seeing what steps they're taking to inspire those steps. You might not be able to take every step that they're taking, but learn what you can and apply it as much as possible. Because I did not, except for my own wardrobes, which was my choice, I did not put any money into starting myself as a business. Because if you are modeling, you are your own business. Literally, you are the brand, and your appearance is your business. So with that in mind, you also have to remember that appearance doesn't just come from your looks. Another tip that I would give people, don't just worry about how do I overcome financial challenges, or how do I start getting a portfolio, or how do I start working with people. Take care of you as well. Modeling is more work than people realize. It is very tiring. It's a lot on your body, and you do need to be physically in shape, especially for editorial fashion modeling. A lot of the poses do require, you're being up on your toes a lot. You have to squeeze your body and hold still while they're taking a shot. You might be moving around a lot, playing with wind in your hair. And there are many shoots that I come out of sweating and out of breath. So I would say that besides overcoming financial hardships, taking care of yourself from day one and being proud of your body, because your body is your business. It's not just about your face and how you look in clothing. Your body is your health as well. And if you're not feeling good as a model, you can't perform. I've had shoots where I've been sick and I've had to cancel. So being able to prevent those types of things as much as possible is definitely a huge upset for yourself, because you're able to avoid those setbacks as much as possible. Not to mention makeup, we have to wash it off. Wearing less makeup if possible is a thing. You don't always have to put on a lot of makeup in modeling, and that is another thing that I do want to let people know about modeling. You don't always have to wear super uncomfortable clothing, and you don't always have to use a lot of makeup or dye your hair. Your look is all about you and what you want. And that's another reason I do not want to be in an agency, because they are a little bit more in control of your brand. So, two little last tips in there. Definitely, your health is your appearance is your brand. And you are in control of your brand because the brand is you. Do not let anyone tell you what you want your brand to be.
Boom. Awesome. That was amazing. I pulled from what you just said, and I was trying to summarize it the best as I could. I know you talked about the financial piece, so that's important. But like I said, I summarized the key piece of your message to observe it, learn it, and apply it. And I love that advice to go on social media and follow those models that inspire you and those that you aspire to be, not just inspire, but those you aspire to be. That is great advice because we often talk about the dangers of social media. Well, you know what? That's up to you. You have control over what you intake from social media. So that's a great strategy. Follow the positive pages of positive individuals, and that's a great way to learn. And obviously, learn from that, observe what they do, and take in as much as you can, and then start applying that. I love, love those tips. That is so great. And self-care. We've been talking about that, I think, in almost each and every single Nourish a Child's Dream spotlight that I've been doing. Self-care comes out a ton because no matter what in life, you've got to take care of self because you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot perform to the best of your ability if you're exhausted, you haven't had enough sleep, you're not eating right, you're not working out or being active. I know some people may have some limitations with working out, but that is so critical. And those are great tips. So guys, make sure you listen to Casey. She has some awesome tips for you. Make sure you follow all of that. So my last question to you is why ICA? I like to ask this question of folks that we partner with and especially those getting involved with the event. As I shared earlier, you'll be modeling in the Nourish a Child's Dream Art Gala. We'll have a fashion meets art segment for folks to enjoy. And guys, make sure you get your ticket. I'll have the QR code. So make sure you scan the code and get your ticket. But yeah, my question is why ICA? Why did you agree to partner with us, or why were you interested in partnering with our organization?
So the answer to why ICA is as simple as I believe that everything happens for a reason. Like you said, we have the mutual friend, Novi, the designer. When she came to me with this opportunity, there was two things that I immediately thought of. One, going back to my lack of financial support in high school, there was Habitat for Humanity projects that I really wanted to go on. I was not able to afford to pay for the trip, so I wasn't able to participate, unfortunately. And of course, what a terrible thing to not be able to participate in helping others because you can't afford it.
Right.
So this was my first opportunity that has come up, honestly, since then, presenting itself to me, where I actually am able to say yes. I don't have a financial hindrance and I'm able to participate. The second thing that immediately came to mind was obviously the mission. I definitely, like I said, did not grow up privileged. And I know that there are so many children in the world that grow up without the means that the rest of us are privileged to have to make themselves a better life. A lot of people get a privileged thought in their head that you just do it. And why is it so hard for people? Well, if you weren't provided the tools to, build yourself into that type of person and to learn, then it's not something that is easy to do. If no one's teaching you or telling you these things, then how do you know? How do you have that knowledge? If there's roadblocks that you can't overcome, how do you ever get to the other side? And as a child, I had that happen to me a lot. A lot of no's, a lot of can't do this because of that. And I want to participate any way that I can to help prevent that from happening to as many children as possible. Because obviously, being able to help all of them is something that everyone wants to do, but the chance to actually participate in something that is benefiting and has a proceed that's going somewhere and actually going to benefit an organization, especially being in the Congo, which I will note another everything happens for a reason on that in just a second. Because, like I said, if you're not provided the building blocks, then you're never going to be able to get there. And the other thing that was very ironic was once Novi had informed me that I would be modeling a dress that the kids made from the Congo. I was floored and I got these butterflies in my stomach because I recently had purchased, I've been getting crystals lately. I recently had purchased a crystal that specifically only comes from the Congo. And
Oh,
I was just like, oh my God, this is so weird. I had been looking for that crystal for so long. And then I finally had the
wow.
chance that I found it. And I learned that it came from the Congo specifically. And then
Oh,
nobody asked me a couple days later with this opportunity. And I was like,
that's
there's
crazy.
too many signs to say no. And I
That's
felt like it was
crazy.
meant to be.
What crystal is that? I have to ask.
Um, so I don't know if you're familiar with citrine. It's like a brownish orange hued quartz. However, a lot of citrine is manufactured and it's heat treated quartz. Real citrine is natural from the ground. This citrine was Kundalini citrine, so it's a rare citrine that has only been found in the Congo. And I was like, this seems like it's meant to be.
That's crazy. So yes, you are obviously supposed to be there.
Just the confirmation.
Yes, absolutely. Wow, that's amazing. And I'll include a photo of that if I can find it, just so people can see what it looks like. But that's amazing. Thanks for
I
sharing
could
that with
actually
me.
send you a picture of mine that I wire wrapped if you want to use
Oh,
that.
yes. Yes, please do. That would be so fun. So I'll put that in there so everyone can see it. So before we wrap up, would love to hear some of the projects that you're working on that others can follow and keep up with what you're doing.
So I'm actually really excited because I do have a project that I'm working on and I've been really quiet about it because it's a bigger project and I want a lot of it to be a surprise, but without spilling too much. I am working on, and the biggest obstacle to overcome for this is a venue. Um,
Mm.
so this will determine a lot of timing. However, I am working on an event that basically has never, to my knowledge, been in the Rochester area. There are a lot of modeling events that happen around the world, specifically a lot of them that happen in the United States.
Mhm.
And there is a local model who did start her own event in the Western New York area, but nothing specific to like I should say the southern Western New York area, but nothing specific to the northern area where there is a massive amount of creatives in the photography and modeling industry in Buffalo and Rochester. People don't realize how saturated it is with people in this industry, and they don't have the networking to find that out. So I'm working on curating an event that can apply to more people and in that area. Because what I find again is a financial wall, a financial door that's closed for these events. A lot of people are starting to now charge the models to be a part of them, or you have to travel and you have to pay for your hotel, and it adds up. And it gets to a point where is it worth it anymore if I have to spend, $500 to $1,000 just to get myself there and be there. So what I'm working on will also allow models who are not just in specific genres to participate. A lot of specifically fashion models or newer models don't get to participate because there's restrictions on specific genres that they have to shoot. And those aren't comfortable for some models. So I'm working on an event that will allow newer models to come in and be a part of it so that they can work on their portfolio. This type of event has multiple models and photographers available, so where better than to have that opportunity than to work with multiple people in one day. as well as this event being curated in a different way where there will be themes. Specifically, one of the themes is going to be a Barbie tribute. The Barbie thing is huge, and
So
everybody
fun.
loves it.
Yeah.
It's a really cute idea, and I happen to be on the side of loving pink. So one of those little surprises will be that there will be a Barbie themed area where I am actually making all of the props and stuff all by myself.
Nice.
So there will be a lot of options and opportunities that are different at this event as long as I can find the right venue and come through with that. Because I want to appeal to other people who don't have those opportunities. Again, honestly, it comes down to a lot of financial, setbacks, financial setbacks for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, that is so beautiful. And for anyone watching that wants to hook Casey up with a venue, reach out to Casey, make that happen, make that happen. I'm a
Need to
firm
have
believer.
at least 10 photographers and 10 to 15 models.
Okay. 10 photographers, 10 to 15 models. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, you heard it, guys. Casey is looking for partners, so reach out to her, and she needs a venue, so hook her up with the venue, guys.
We will
It's
totally promote and tag the venue. This is a full collaboration opportunity.
awesome. I love it, and I love that what you went through growing up um has laid a foundation essentially for you to build yourself up so that now you can reach back and help those that need the assistance. I truly believe that a lot of times we go through certain experiences that are helping us to empower others. Like it sucks when you're going through it. It's not fun, it's not great, but seeing you turn that into a positive now and helping out and trying to support others so they don't go through what you went through, man, that is gold, and that is extremely impressive. So thank you for doing that, because one day once they've progressed and they've made it to where they hope to be, they're going to look back and they're going to remember you and the opportunity that you've created for them. So thank you for what you're doing and what's to come. Can you share with everyone a date so they can have a sense of what timeline you're looking at and considering?
So a specific date, I would love to be able to do the event by the end of the year.
Mm,
However, with venues, I know that they could be booked out a couple months. So I would love to procure this and have it happen within the next 6 months.
mm,
Um, I do need at least 2 months to a month and a half for, advertising and having people register and sign up and all those types of things. So
mm.
at least a 3 to 6 month period of planning, I would say.
Awesome. All right, great. Well, hopefully you get connected with others that want to work with you on this and partner with you. So definitely reach out to Casey. I'll make sure that her Instagram handle is on there and a way to contact her, so you can reach out and make it happen. But Casey, again, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. All right, guys, like I said earlier, make sure you scan that QR code, get your tickets for the art gala, and we will see you on September 23rd. Bye, guys.
Bye.